Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are driving on the PJ Patterson Highway. This highway is also known as Highway 2000. Now this was the first major highway ever built in Jamaica. It still is one of the nicest highways in Jamaica, probably the nicest. So today we're going to talk about Highway 2000 and how it came about. So back in the day, to drive from one end of Jamaica to the other, let's say from Kingston to Negril, you had to drive through the towns, and then later on bypass roads were built so you didn't have to drive through the towns. So for example, you're driving out of Kingston, you had to go through Spanish Town, the actual town, which was very congested, a lot of traffic, small roads. So then they built a bypass road, so you don't have to go through the actual town. You could use a bypass road and just go on the outskirts of the town. So that is how it was from all the major towns in Jamaica: Maypen, Mandeville, those kind of things. And then it was decided that they should have a highway so that you could get from Kingston to Montego Bay on a highway and then drive around the coast of Jamaica on a highway. So that is where Highway 2000 came into being. Highway 2000 was to be a road from Kingston to Montego Bay and also from Kingston to Ocho Rios. So why those two towns? Well, Montego Bay is the second city. That's where you had the second airport, and actually the largest airport in Jamaica is in Montego Bay. And Ocho Rios, because Ocho Rios has all the top tourist attractions like Dunn's River Falls, Mystic Mountain, Dolphin Cove. So it was said that persons should be able to get to these tourist attractions easily and to Montego Bay easily. So that's where Highway 2000 came into being. A highway from Kingston to Montego Bay and also a highway from Kingston to Ocho Rios. So this was during the time of the PJ Patterson administration. PJ Patterson was a prime minister for the People's National Party, and he's the longest serving prime minister in Jamaica. This road we're driving on is named after him, the PJ Patterson Highway, because he was instrumental in getting the highway built. And we've always said this is not a political channel, but we really have to highlight what he did in building Highway 2000 because he was the force behind it. And many persons have said, if it was not for PJ Patterson being Prime Minister, this highway would not have been built. Okay, so it was decided that the highway was to be built. And at first, they wanted to build the entire stretch of road from Kingston to Montego Bay and Kingston to Ocho Rios all at once. So they had to get let's just back up a little. There is no road like this in Jamaica back then when they wanted to do it. It would have been the largest investment in Jamaica by a foreign company in a recent times. So a lot of people said nobody is going to invest hundreds of millions of US dollars in Jamaica on a road. And that is why we said if it wasn't for PJ Patterson being Prime Minister, it probably wouldn't be done. Let's just say, a lot of persons said it could not be done. It was not possible. The cost, the experience, everything needed could not be done. However, the Jamaican government said okay, and this is under PJ Patterson's direction. He made building the highway a top priority for his administration. So foreign consultants were brought in, a lot of foreigners, the architects, everything, the roads, the engineering, because They said, if we're going to get foreign investment, we're going to need the best of the best, the industry leading experts to give their opinion on the highway. So a feasibility study was done, and then they said it could be done, it's going to be very expensive, and because they wanted to get foreign investment, they used foreign companies to do all of these things. So basically it went out to bid, etc. Persons showed an interest, and it came down to 4 companies. It was a long process, but the government made sure to continue it. So it came down to 4 companies, and I just want to point out, because I found it very surprising, China Harbor Engineering Company was not one of the 4. They were not one of the 4. So at the end of the day, a French company got the contract to be the contractor for this project. Now, it was said when it came down to 4 that 4 contractors bidding, it was too expensive to build the entire road from Kingston to Montego Bay in one go. So they said you need to break up the project into pieces. So the government agreed, and they said the Kingston to Maypen leg would be the first one built, and they proceeded. So the contract was given to a French company. Now, the French company would put up most of the money to build the highway, and in return, they were given a concession to operate the highway in terms of a toll structure. So they were given a concession, I think it was 35 years. They would operate the highway and collect the toll, and then that is the money they would use to pay back for building the highway. And the government gave them a revenue guarantee, so that if the highway was not used, because there was also people saying that nobody's going to pay to use the highway because it just wasn't heard of in Jamaica before, the government would guarantee a certain amount of revenue every quarter, every year. So it proceeded, and this highway was built, and it is one of the nicest, it is, I think, one of the nicest highways in Jamaica. So that is how this leg of the highway was built. It was built in phases. The first leg went to, actually, the Portmore Expressway was also a part of the Highway 2000 project. So that leg was built, and then from Kingston to Maypen was built. And that was built by the French company. And that is why, if you ever notice that the toll that you pay, the receipt you get says Trans Jamaica Highway, because that's the company that has a concession to operate this highway for 35 years. And if you notice the other highway, the one from Kingston to Ocho Rios, though when you get a receipt for the toll on that highway, it's a Jamaica North-South highway, because it's a different company that built that highway. Alright, so that's the history behind how this highway was built. And Trans Jamaica Highway operates the Portmore Expressway and this leg of the highway from Kingston to Maypen. Now, there's another leg being built from Maypen to Mandeville, and then eventually another leg from Mandeville to Montego Bay will be built. So the highway will reach Montego Bay one day. It's just being done in phases. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. Alright guys, have a good day.